My name is Kathy Salata, and I am a member of Toastmasters, which is a public speaking group. It is an international group, and it has changed my life dramatically. I am an introvert. I get nervous about speaking, and especially that small talk. I really have challenges with that small talk because I don't want to talk about the weather. I want to have deeper conversations. So, Toastmasters has really given me the confidence to speak publicly and feel more comfortable about it. And there's no magic to public speaking, it really is practice, practice, practice. So, today we're going to be covering a little bit of introduction of what we're going to be going over these next 4 weeks. And then you'll have the opportunity to participate in a section that I call table topics, or Toastmasters calls table topics. And then we will review what we're going to be covering for next week. And then we will call it a day and answer any questions that you have. So, with that said, let me share my screen here and talk a little bit about what Speechcraft is all about. So, Toastmasters International is an organization. It started in 1924 right here in Southern California. We have international chapters. When I was in the Philippines, I went to a Toastmasters club in the Philippines, and they gave me some great recommendations for things to do while I was there. So it was a wonderful, wonderful opportunity there. So, a little bit about what we're going to be covering over these next 4 weeks. For those of you who have attended my Monday morning sessions on Meetup, this is a little bit different. Today I'm going to be doing more talking than I normally do, but it will always have the opportunity to participate. And as the weeks go on, I'll be talking less and you'll be talking more. So, what we're going to learn are some just basic, tried and true mechanisms that we can use to speak more proficiently. We're going to practice our skills each week and we're going to strengthen them. I think that the secret sauce, or what makes Toastmasters a unique organization, is that we give feedback in an evaluation section. And it's not just the person who spoke who gets the feedback, all of us benefit from that feedback that is provided. And you will develop and build skills throughout these next 4 weeks if you decided to attend all 4 weeks. So each week, we're going to be having a little table topic section, which is essentially just impromptu speaking. No preparation is necessary. And as I mentioned before, we'll have evaluations starting next week because each of us are going to have the opportunity to give a 2 to 3 minute presentation next week. And I'll cover that a little bit later. So in Toastmasters, we have executive committees. I am the coordinator for this. So if you have any questions throughout the week, I will leave my information in the chat so that you have access to it. And you today, after our meeting, you're going to have the opportunity to complete a self-assessment. And this self-assessment will kind of share with you where you have strong skills in speaking and areas for you to develop. Sometimes people are great speakers, but not great listeners. So we're going to be working on all of those different aspects today. So I will email this to everyone later, but the resource, if you want to have access to it now, here is the nice little resource for the self-evaluation that you can save to your computer and work on a little bit later. So any questions before we get started today? Okay, wonderful. Well, today we're going to be talking about impromptu speaking. I teach at a local college here, and I think my students' biggest fear is public speaking. And we're in the middle of finals, and they are terrified. They're losing sleep. They're just having a lot of frustration with public speaking because it is the number one fear. I'd love to share with you one quick story about how Toastmasters changed my life. And it is with, believe it or not, the deaths of my parents. So my mom passed away about 20 years ago. She had a disease called ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease, where your neurons shrink up and they die. So she couldn't swallow, and it was a debilitating illness. It was so hard to watch her go through this. And I gave her eulogy. And I was so nervous giving that eulogy at her funeral. I don't remember who was even at the funeral. I don't remember anything because I was so caught up in my head. About a year and a half ago, my father passed away. I gave his eulogy and I was present. I was engaged. I remember celebrating his life at that eulogy. And the difference is that practice and being more confident with public speaking because there really is no secret formula. It's practice, 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 getting some feedback and then incorporating that feedback in the future. So today we're going to be talking about table topics. So if you are going to go on a job interview or a networking or any type of opportunity where there's going to be some small talk, going to a party, we're going to look at some different ways that you can respond to questions that are asked of you. And one of the great tools that you can use with giving a table topic or an impromptu response is pausing. Because once you start speaking, you have to go down that road. You've already put the wheels in motion. So taking that pause, reflecting on how you're going to respond is such a wonderful tool. So I'm going to share a little presentation that I put together here in regards to table topics in different ways that we can answer a table topic or an impromptu question. And so, first, we want to think calmly, take that time to reflect, and then we want to organize our thoughts. And it's difficult when we're in the moment organizing our thoughts so quickly. But I'm going to give you some tools that I think that you can use that will assist you with this. And then you want to deliver it with confidence and succinctly, short and sweet. Usually in a Toastmasters meeting, a table topic response is between 1 minute and 2 minutes. So that's kind of what we're going through in this section here. So I'm going to share with you different ways you can answer the simple question, how do you make your bed? How do you make your bed? One way you can approach it is talking about the past, the present, and the future. We call this the PPF method. So, a response to this could start off with, as a child, I used to hate making my bed, but now I do it religiously. I'm sure when I get older, I will go back to my old ways as it's just going to be hard to bend over. So you can see I quickly talked about the past, the present, and the future in that method. And you can use this for just about any aspect or any question. You can go that route. It's a tried and true way to do that. You can also bring in other people in your life, whether it be friends, families, or a stranger. My brother never makes his bed, but my mom always does. I often wonder if they're related. I think that 80% of the population makes their bed every day. So that's just a great way. Again, I'm just summarizing it. This is friends, family, and strangers. You can bring those people into your presentation. And you'll notice that it says, I think 80% of the population make their bed every day. One way that you can have more engaging conversations is just to read a lot of different topics and familiarize yourself with different things so that you can kind of adjust and be a chameleon in any setting. Another one, they use this a lot in debates where you state your thesis, you explain it, and then you restate it. So bed making is boring. It takes ages. You unmake it hours later, and that's 5 minutes you could use another way. It's not right, and I refuse to do it. So again, restating that bed making was just not their forte. And also in debate, you can use for and against, pro and con. You could say that making your bed shows discipline and that you have an ordered mind. On the other hand, if you don't make your bed, you might be seen as as a more creative person who is not bound by the rules. So, who knew that the simple question, how to make your bed, could be responded to so many ways? One last one I would like to share is the fact, antidote, and tie back. So, bed making is a constant debate in our house. Let me tell you why, and then go on. Well, I guess you can see that bed making wasn't the real issue at all. So, it's a really great way that you can tie things back with that. You can be like a politician and not answer the question at all. Thanks for that thoughtful question about bed making. I was in bed dreaming the other night, and let me tell you what happened in the dream, and then go off on your different subject. A wonderful tool that we have. We can recap a recent event. I was watching the news about a war zone and thought, why am I worried about everyday challenges like making my bed? It helped me gain some perspective. So, just some fun ways that we can do this. I'd love it if all of us could participate right now. You can use one of the strategies that I mentioned, or you can respond any way you'd like. Nancy, if I could start with you, if you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be with and why?
Hmm. What came to mind is I'm part French, and I don't know very much about French history. I would like to know more about it. I think I would like to have dinner with Napoleon because I just wonder what he was about, why people liked him or didn't like him, how he fits into world history. I just don't know enough about him to make a good comment. But I
That
think,
is,
oh, I just think just because I have, a French history, I would like to know more about the leaders from France and how all of their whatever they did went down.
wonderful. Thank you for that, Nancy. What a great choice. And it's funny because I too am French and don't know much about historical events in France. So I think that's a great choice. Marielle, would you like to answer this question? If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be with and why?
Hi, good morning. Um, Thank you for your thoughtful question. If I could, I would like a dinner with Ayrton Senna. He was a personality in Brazil, a driver on Formula One, and I love his legacy. So could it be rich dinner about thoughts and values? I will love it, of course.
I love that. Formula One, what an interesting choice. It's becoming very popular in the United States. So that's what it's so diverse from what Nancy responded to. Irvi, how about you? If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be with and why? Was it Yervi?
Yes, yes. Hello, good morning. Uh, Actually, you are a thoughtful question. Like, how do you make your bed? Like, it's something like interesting question. Like, sometimes I think about like I change my new bed sheet. The time I feel about that is too much, and that time I'm single, like I'm single doing all the work, like so that time I feel about oh shit, how can I do that and how can I so that I'm sometimes I frustrated about like and that time I'm slowly making the bed and the clothing like and sometimes my husband's wet towels like and throw about the bed, and so that time I'm irritating about like so that is a nice question, like I'm interesting your questions, like I like that your questions, so
Thank you so
you-
much for that. When it comes to bed making, even if I didn't make the bed, I will make it before I go to bed. So it's interesting. And sometimes I always ask myself, I'm just going to unmake it right now. So I
exactly
can appreciate that. And
exactly.
Yoshi, Nice to see you. It feels like I haven't seen you forever. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be with and why?
It's a difficult question. Actually, I don't really know the history of my own country, which is Japan. Um, but it's a difficult question. But there's a lot of famous shogunates, which is um kind of present in old history in Japan. And you know, some people are really, you know, those shogunates are the ones people cannot really see often because they're basically the top of the country. So if I can have dinner with those people, it'll be intimidating, but I think it'll be great.
Yes, I think I would be intimidated as well. Wonderful responses, everyone. Muriel, we're going to start with you on this next question. Whoops, let me get to the next question. You wake up one morning with the ability to speak and understand any language. What would be the first thing you would do or say? Oops, you're on mute, Muriel.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I think I need a little more time for answer, please.
Okay, while you're waiting, I will respond to this.
Okay.
That it's a very difficult question. If I could speak any language, you're going to be shocked by this. I would learn computer language because to me,
Nice.
computer coding is one of the best, most marketable skills right now. And I would love to learn how the ones and zeros, which is all computer programming really is, how intricate and how it's going to be so involved in all aspects of our life. Right now, I think technology is very prevalent in our lives, but I think it's only going to become greater and greater and greater. The funny thing is, I know a lot of people are scared of artificial intelligence, AI, ChatGPT. And I was listening to a podcast yesterday where ChatGPT um, wrote some poems, and they were actually a little bit terrifying, talking about how AI is going to take over the world. It was a very interesting topic, but I think it's a universal language that we can all relate to together. Okay, Muriel, your turn.
Okay, nice. My husband is software engineer, so I understand you. It's a little weird, his computer. Um, I really want to know speaking English very well. I have a simple girl. We moved to San Francisco almost 4 months, and I never lived without Brazil. So I think in my mind, I don't want expected ability to speak a different language like Italian. I love Italian, but I just want to know speaking English for try have a best communication. I have a lot of emotions when I speak. It's true. I am Brazilian. It's my blonde, but sometimes I feel super limited. I think a lot of things, but I don't know how I speak. So I just want to know speak better in English and start speaking, go to the supermarket and feel confidence and buy a coffee in the corner. Things, small things, but I want to do these things one day with the more confidence.
Well, one of the best ways to build confidence is just to practice. And you are doing a great job, Marielle. So thank you for that.
Thank
Irving,
you.
if you woke up one day with the ability to speak any language, what would be the first thing you would do or say?
Yes, actually, when I wake up in the morning and sometimes I face my down in the like silent, like and my husband saying like, what are you doing? What's happened? Why your face is like down and like so I'm just like and my wake up like love like weather love atmosphere like so he says like oh how sweet your face is so down and your like you look your face like cheek like puppy like so see it's like as a like so sometimes I feel like a love moment, like so beautiful moment, like so and softly like language, like our language is like Gujarati and Hindi. So I'm from India, so and like and calm and pure and patience language. So I'm enjoying like wake up moment. I
That
hope
is
I hope you understand my language, like
a-
because my English is not sometimes very well. So I hope you understand.
I do understand, and you're doing a great job. You speak English much better than I speak any other language, so I appreciate you even giving that opportunity.
Thank you so
Yoshi,
much.
Yeah.
Yoshi, if you woke up one morning with the ability to speak any language, what would be the first thing you would do or say?
Um, Actually, I found, computer language is one of the best thing I think to learn, if you think about the future world, right? But
Yes.
aside from that, maybe actually I'm going to France next week, so I really want to speak French now because my French is really bad and I don't think I can make myself understood by French next week. And another thing is maybe English because my English is still very bad. So
Well,
um, yeah, so there's three options: computer language, French, and English.
wow. Again, you speak English so well. All three of you speak English so much better than I speak another language. Nancy, Yoshi was talking about France, and I know you're French. Do you speak French? I mean,
No, I don't speak French. And what came to mind with your question is that I really want to speak Spanish better because my extended family is from Mexico and Argentina. And I would love to be able to have extended conversations with them and also their family in their own native language because there's so many wonderful cultural nuances with their background that I think I could understand better if I could speak their language.
that is wonderful, Nancy. What a way to bring in your family and just connecting with them. Wonderful. And to my understanding, people in Argentina, people in Spain, people in Mexico speak very different Spanish. I hear my friends from Mexico go to Spain and it's much more formal in Spain. So I loved everyone's response to that. Urfi, we're going to start with you this time. I'm going to skip this question real quick. If you could visit any fictional world, where would you go and what would you do there? And if you don't know what fictional means, it means not true. So it could be from a book, a movie, anywhere. Where would you like to go, Irvi?
Sometimes I'm just think about where I am just like imagination like I'm just a photographer and I'm just clicking random pictures like and nature's pictures and landscape pictures and birds clicking like and dogs running out and like and so many flowers and lots of flower different types of flower like I clicking like true nature pictures like I click Mars so I'm just think about I love photography and I'm just imagine about like and I'm just free like and my photography, and I'm just post about an Instagram and WhatsApp, and someone says, oh wow, your picture is so nice and so beautiful, and like I'm just imagine about and when I am photographer like
That is wonderful. I wish I was proficient in photography. I always envy people that can do that so well. You can take a simple object and just make it absolutely
exactly,
beautiful.
right. So I'm just imagine about, so that's it.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Now, Yoshi, I know that I think that you play video games, if memory serves me right. If you could
Right.
visit any fictional world, where would you go?
Um, well, even though I love video games and I love role-playing game, but all those role-playing games, they speak about really hard life, you know, like wars and like, they are challenged by many, like, sub obstacles in their life. So I don't think I can face their life in by going to their world. So maybe I wouldn't choose to go to their world, but um, there are a lot of other great video games, and that includes kind of one of the game I'm playing is like you grow the idols, you know, like they are like young idols, and they want to be a kind of entertainer or singers in the future, and it's it it's they are also living in a hard life because they are being in the pressure to meet the expectation by audience. But I think it's they are really you know um young and talented, and I think it'll be great to become one of the members and those idols.
That
So yeah, that can be one option if I can go to any fictional world.
that is wonderful. Thank you, Yoshi. And you're right. I didn't consider it, but those video games, there's often they're getting out, they're fighting people and doing all those things. So I can see why that wouldn't be as attractive to you as the idols. Nancy, what fictional world would you like to go to?
What fictional world? I like the example of video games, but what came to mind for me when you asked the question was a place that I go to in my own guided meditations that I do. I do these morning meditations so that I have a vision for the day of what I want it to look like and be like, but I let it come to me. I don't dictate that in advance. So some of the images that just come to me from my meditation, like, for example, I'm often walking on a colored path and all different colors. Some days it's green, some days it's yellow, some days it's red or blue. And I don't decide that in advance. I just let it come to me. And then all these other images of things and objects around me start coming. And each of those representations tell me something that I need to know about the day. For example, yesterday there were 3 things that came in my image, and it had to do with relaxing, having fun, and renewing, just feeling more refreshed. And I'm just so grateful that I can have those images come to me in these meditations that I have, because they come from a place outside of myself, and that's a lot of fun.
That is wonderful. And your mind is so creative, but it tells you all the answers that you need. What a great way to start your day. Oh my goodness. And Mariel, where would you go if you can go to a fictional world?
This question made me remember my teenage times when I read Harry Potter. So if I could I would love it visited a fictional world, Harry Potter, because have friendship, have magic, even the problems, but I think could be awesome.
That is wonderful. And I love that Harry Potter has brought reading back to so many young people, especially. And I think that that's a great place to go. If I could go to a fictional world, I think I would go to The Wizard of Oz. It is one of my favorite books, one of my favorite movies. And what I love about this world is first it was one of the first movies that went from black and white to color. And it was just as Nancy was talking about that path, having that golden path. But what I especially love about this world is Dorothy meets a scarecrow and a tin man and a lion who think that they aren't smart, that they're don't have a heart, and that they don't have courage. But in reality, they have all of those things. They just didn't know that they had them. So I really love that message for people is that whatever we have is inside of us already. So we have time for one more question. And I'm going to go to you, Yoshi, for this one. Describe a day in your life if you were a famous celebrity. Describe a day in your life if you were a famous celebrity.
I don't know. Let's see. Um, I don't know. Maybe if I'm a celebrity, I don't know what kind of celebrity I will be, but maybe there's kind of butler to wake me up, or maybe maid, and maybe I'll be escorted to some like fancy morning fancy like room where people are sitting around me and like preparing morning dish for me. I don't know. And yeah, and I then after I get morning breakfast, I don't know what kind of celebrity I'll be. Um, yeah, after getting morning breakfast, maybe I can go to. Let me think about it. Can you
No,
pass it to another person?
no problem. No problem. Nancy, what would a day be like if you were a famous celebrity?
A day in my life as a famous celebrity. It might not be much different than what I already do, just because I just enjoy, first of all, helping other people. I like lifting others up and removing obstacles. I think whether I was a celebrity or not, I would just continue doing that because it adds meaning to my life and to the lives of others.
That is wonderful. And you could be very famous for helping others. And I think that that's very humble and kind of you to respond with that way instead of just worrying about money and things like that. That's great. Muriel, how about you? If you were a famous celebrity, what would a day be like?
I think the famous celebrity have a lot of work with another person. They maybe don't love it or have a friendship. So I think in a day in your life, it's more solitary, like you woke up and you go to the gym, like everybody goes. And I prefer a day off. And I think he has this big house and make alone or with husband, boyfriend, or another partner. But if I was a famous celebrity, I want be a friend of Taylor Swift. So in my day, I will go lunch with Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez. And I don't know. I think it's more solitary than big day with a lot of things scheduled, I think.
Yeah, I can imagine being a celebrity is exhausting, so that solitary time would be much appreciated.
Yeah.
Maybe, what would a day be like for you if you were a celebrity?
Yeah, actually, that is a interesting question. Like when I am celebrity, so I'm just think about like when I'm celebrity, so like I have four different new cars like Tesla, like Mercedes, and like Jaguar. Like so, I'm just think about and I'm just sometimes going about in different cars. Like when I'm sometimes going about Jaguars, and I'm something about like Mercedes, and when around my different servant, like some making like cooking food, and some working like doing uh, homemaking, like cleaning about, like so I am just relaxing about in my room and and enjoying different type of movie, and just sitting and enjoy. So I'm just feel about when I'm celebrating.
That is wonderful. Thank you for that, Irvi. If I were a famous celebrity, I would not be very happy for two reasons. One, I'm an introvert. And two, I tend to be kind of a private person. And I would find it intrusive if I was grocery shopping or whatever I'm doing, and there's paparazzi taking pictures of me all over the place. However, like Nancy, if I was a celebrity, I would hope that it would be in an area where I help people. I often think of Oprah Winfrey, for example, who had a very tough childhood and she overcame that tragedy and is now helping others. But I know that she's mentioned that she's had struggles, um, especially because of her weight going up and down. She's always felt like she was underneath a spotlight and judged. And so I don't think the celebrity life is for me, but if I did, I would hope it would be a lot of connection and helping others. So thank you all for participating in that little section. And I asked you some very tough questions, and you did a fantastic, fantastic job. So I'm hoping you join us next week. Next week, we're going to be talking about ourselves in 2 to 3 minutes. So you will have the opportunity to prepare a brief little speech. No PowerPoint or anything is required, but I'm going to share with you another tool. And let me pull this up so we all have it at our disposal here. Okay, so and I'll put this in the chat too. So this little tool that I'm sharing can be found on the shared drive in the Google Drive. So let me share with you what it looks like. So this is a brief little tool that you can use to talk about yourself. I think that oftentimes people feel that their life is boring and uninteresting, but we all have certain characteristics or certain opportunities to share a little bit about ourselves. So you can just jot down a few ideas of maybe some milestones in your life, some favorite times in your life, some favorite people in your life, and just share a little bit about that. That second section, reasons for joining Toastmasters, is just optional, it's not required. You may even want to consider some of the goals you have in building your communication. I know many of you wanted to practice your English skills, and this is a wonderful tool for you to just do a little bit of brainstorming. And then on page 2, you have the opportunity to start writing your speech out. So next week, we're going to be talking about opening your speech and closing your speech and outlining your speech. So you'll get a little taste of a little bit more feedback from that next week. You might want to start with the greeting. And believe it or not, even though it's the introduction of your speech, it's actually the last thing that I write, only because it's so imperative that I get the audience's attention. If I don't get it in the beginning, they're not going to listen to the rest of my speech, no matter how great it is. So you may want to capture the audience's interest. You can use a quote, a rhetorical question, uh, sharing benefits. If you, for example, Nancy was talking about meditation. Maybe her speech is going to be talking about how meditation changed her life. And she might want to share with us about a statistic about people who meditate and how that benefits them. You can then transition into the body of your topic, the body of your presentation, I mean, with some main points, and then transition from point to point. So it's when we're transitioning, it's almost like a bridge from one topic to the next topic. So you can be considerate of things along those lines. And then you can conclude. You can either restate with your main points, you might have a call to action, you might close with a quote, whatever works for you. These are all options for you to consider. And this worksheet is just for you. If it helps you, it's helpful. If not, that's fine too. I'd love to share with you a couple of stories that I've heard for this is called an icebreaker speech where we get to know you. Generally, when people say, I was born here and I went to school here and I did this and I did that, although it provides a great deal of historical information, it really doesn't capture the audience's interest. Just as if you read a biography or an autobiography, they usually don't just say, I went to school here, this is what I did, this is what I did. There usually is an impact. I'll share with you a couple of really great icebreakers. So we have a member of our Toastmasters group who is from China. And often when people come from China, they choose an English name. And her English name is Helen. And she shared why she chose that name, Helen. And it gave us such a great opportunity to learn about her. She chose the name Helen because of Helen Keller. If you know who Helen Keller is, she was blind, she couldn't hear, so it was very difficult for her to learn how to communicate. So it was just talking about why that Helen Keller, why she chose her, and it was just a great topic. I had another person in our Toastmasters group talk about her favorite food, which was tamales. And the reason that tamales were so great for her, why she loved them so much, was not the wonderful taste, but it was about that connection with family and having those fond memories because making tamales is labor intensive. So, you have the whole family together and you're creating this wonderful food together, and what it means to you is so much more than just a tamale. So those tend to be the best opportunities for a icebreaker speech. And I'd love to share with you one more resource. As I mentioned, one of the benefits of Toastmasters is the opportunity to be evaluated. So evaluations is not criticizing. Evaluations is sharing what you did really well and maybe some areas where you can improve and ways you can challenge yourself. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm standing up. And the reason I stand when I give speeches now is because I'm much more engaged. And I got that little feedback from one of my Toastmasters. And now when I'm doing any type of communication Zoom meetings, I'm always standing up because I'm much more present. I don't know why. It's just a Kathyism, but this is an evaluation source that you can use. And I'll pull this up. So what I will do next week after you give your speeches is you will be giving some evaluations. Next week, I'll be doing the evaluations, but in the future, each of us are going to have the opportunity to evaluate each other. So you'll get some general comments about what you excelled at, some things that you want to work on, and ways that you can challenge yourself. And remember that this is very subjective. It's just one person's opinion. And then we're going to be considering things like clarity. How well did you speak? I remember Mariel saying sometimes she knows what she wants to say, but she can't think of the words to say it. And I feel that way when I'm trying to learn Spanish. When I speak Spanish, I'm like, I know I want to say this, but I don't know how to say it properly. Vocal variety, you bringing in that a calm energy and then some excitability, all of this great. We don't want to be monotone when we speak. In the United States, it's very customary to make eye contact with our audience. It's a little different on Zoom, but we want to get used to this, especially since Zoom is a way a lot of meetings are held now. So it's great to learn this technological skill, using those gestures. I know some Brazil, for example, has a lot, Italy has a lot of gestures, others are more subtle. Being aware of the audience and what is interesting to them. That's always something that we want to be considerate of. How comfortable you are. Did you engage us, get us interested? And then you can see it's rated, and a nice little rate sheet is right here. So it's a wonderful opportunity. And you can even, if you want to practice, give a copy of this to your friends or family and evaluate and get some evaluation, because it's always the way we improve is by getting and giving that feedback. It's just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. So any questions?
I have a question, please.
Yes, Miriam.
I saw in Mirapi this month all our events will be on Fridays, all right?
Right. Friday at the same time for the next 3 weeks.
Perfect.
So this is week 1 of 4. So yes, it'll be the same Zoom link, same everything. So I would love your feedback. I'm very excited about learning about each of you and what is important to you.
Okay.
Any other questions? And for those of you who are interested in improving your English, I also host that Monday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific time, another workshop. And every week we go over a different topic. So it's a wonderful opportunity to practice. Last week, we talked about priorities and how our priorities change over time. Ariel?
I have a question because I was on Monday with you, but in Mirapi, I don't know how I can put attendant for Mondays because just have Fridays.
So if you go on Meetup, you can scroll down to Monday, or you can go into the group and it'll show upcoming events.
Upcoming. Yeah, don't have, I swear, just have Friday, June 7 today, and in next have another
I
Friday.
apologize. You know what, Muriel? I apologize. Next Monday, I'm doing final presentations, so it's not this Monday, it's the following Monday. My bad. I'm so sorry. I'm out of step here.
No problem. But I think it could be nice if you look at, because just have Friday. I swear the next it's June 14. Sorry.
Yeah, I will look immediately after. Thanks for letting me know, Muriel. There could be a little glitch in Meetup.
Because I love a Monday. It's so good. We talk about priorities. Was awesome.
Thank you, Muriel. Irvi, did you have a question?
Yes, I have one question. Like, do you know about Toastmaster in-person classes is available in
Oh,
person?
yes, and I have that on Meetup too. So let me share with you. This is a great opportunity for me to plug Toastmasters because it has made a huge difference in my life. So I'd be happy to help you find a Toastmasters, but for yourself or anyone else, if you go to the website toastmasters.org, O-R-G,
Okay.
you will come up with a website, and this website is a wealth of information. But the easiest thing to do is you can find a club right up here. If you want to go in person, you can enter your city, state, your zip
Okay.
code,
Okay.
and then you can also say, hey, I want to do it on mornings, or I want to do it in the evenings. You can
Okay.
designate when you want to do this. So
Yeah.
the reason I have this group right now is after 4 weeks, I'm hoping that you transition to my Toastmasters Club, which meets at the same time, but it's online. But you're welcome to attend any Toastmasters, and I'm here to help you. And in fact, let me put my email address here in case you want to reach out to me. It's pretty easy because it's my first and last name at Gmail, and I will put the website for Toastmasters. Remember, it's toastmasters.org, but if you just Google Toastmasters, it's the first thing that will pop up. And that Find a Club is in that top right-hand corner. You'll also find resources there on how to evaluate, how to open a speech, And they even have a mock Toastmasters meeting in there that you can attend as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So, any questions? Well, I will stay on. I thank you so much for joining me today. I'll stay on if you have any questions. Otherwise, I hope to see you very, very soon. And Muriel, thanks for letting me know about that Monday meeting. I'll make sure that it's uploaded right away. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nice
Take
meeting
care, guys.
you.
Bye
Nice to
bye.
meet you guys.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.